Greetings! I am Nate T. Bird. Welcome to the first developer update video for my unnamed tower defense game. I thought I'd start off by giving you a list of all the things that I want to work on and that I need to finish before the game is ready for early access release. This, I think, will be a good baseline for you so that you know exactly what things I have to do so that you know how long it's going to take before the game is ready for you to play. These things are things that I think are essential to the core gameplay experience, and without them I don't think the game would feel right, so I need to get them finished before I let you play the game so that you get a proper taste of what the final game will be like. The most important thing that I have to add is sound effects. I feel like sound effects are a key component to making the game feel satisfying to play. And if the game is satisfying to play, then the game will be more enjoyable. In early playtesting, the game didn't have any sound effects, and the people that I gave it to actually were making their own sound effects as they played the game. So that to me is a sure sign that the game does need sound effects before I give it to people to play. The second thing I need to do is balancing. I need to go through and make sure that the game is challenging but fair. I want the player to be able to experience becoming more powerful and progressing in strength, but I don't want it to be too easy. So I need to go through and just double check all the towers and the enemies and make sure that each one feels very impactful to use and that each one is, challenging but in a good way. Another aspect of balancing is skills. As it is now, the player gains skill points that they can use to upgrade the effectiveness of their towers all the time, globally. The way it is that they gain skill points fairly frequently, and the skill points aren't that effective. It's a minor stat increase. So for the damage skill, it's only 5%. But I think that perhaps I will change it to make it so that the player gains skill points slower, but that the skill points that they do gain feel more impactful and important to apply. So instead of doing a 5% damage increase, it would be a 10% damage increase, so that the effect is more noticeable and it just feels like you're actually making a choice rather than just clicking a button to apply a point. The third thing that I have to do is check the wording of things. So in the game there's descriptions of what the tower does or what the skill does or what the enemy does. And if I don't explain it properly, then it can be confusing or misleading as to what the skill does, what the tower does, or what the enemy does. So I just want to go through and just double check that all of the skills and everything is explained in a proper way or a more proper way. I want to make sure that it's very clear and concise and descriptive. The fourth thing that I have to do is add a settings menu. I've actually stopped playing games simply because I couldn't turn the audio down or I couldn't get the screen resolution to the proper size. So I want to make sure that I have a high-functioning setting menu from the very initial release of the game. The fifth thing that I have to add is a tutorial. If you can't figure out how to place your first tower or upgrade, you're not going to have a very enjoyable time playing the game, because building and upgrading is the heart of the core gameplay loop. So I want to add a tutorial that explains that, but I also want to encourage self-learning and discovery, so the tutorial is going to be a smart tutorial. It will start with just prompting you, like very subtly, about what to do. And if you can't get it from there, then it will start adding more details and more outright, this is what you're supposed to do. The final thing that I have to do is pick a name for the game. And I think you can help me with that. I will ask for your suggestions, and I will compile a list of all of the suggestions that I receive. I'll pick my favorites from that list, and then I will ask for your vote to determine the absolute best name for the game, and then that will be the name that we go with for the game. The name should be intriguing, memorable, and roughly describe the game, but I will definitely be leaning more towards intriguing and memorable than actually describing the game. So please, if you have any suggestions, send them my way and I will add them to the list. Once these things are finished, it doesn't mean that the game is finished. It just means that the game is ready for early access release, which, in my mind, means that the game is going to be a good taste of what the final full game can be like. There are a few things that I think are very important to giving the game a proper feel, but I did not include them on this list simply because I thought that the time that they would take would not be worth delaying the early access release any longer, the main thing being visual aesthetics. So I will be finishing these things within the months after the early access release. That's what the future holds, so what have I been working on for the past few weeks? Oddly enough, I've primarily been working on visual aesthetics. After I released that first update video, I had someone offer to do the art for the game for free. So I accepted his offer, and I've been working with him for the past few weeks, but he brought to my attention a lot of things that I needed to change with the way that textures are displayed in-game. So that's primarily what I've been working on. I think it's worth it though, because I really enjoy the visual style he's bringing to the game, and I think you'll enjoy it too. I hope that he has most of the art done by the time of early access release so that you can get a even better taste of what the final game will be like. I have also reworked the profile system to make it even more intuitive. I've been adding sound effects here and there, and I've also changed the shape of the elite and armored class enemies. That's it for this update video. I hope you enjoyed. Have a wonderful day.